Over the last year, everything has changed. The way we search for information, the way we interact with information, and honestly, learning languages has never been any easier. In this video, we're talking AI and learning languages. So if you're planning to learn a new language, then you are in the right place. I'll show you how you can use AI to learn any language you want without spending a lot of money. Let's get started. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I moved to Portugal almost 3 years ago, and I feel like it's about time I start learning Portuguese properly. I mean, I love you Duolingo, I love you Memrise, but we need to learn the language. So why not use AI for that? First of all, I want to ask AI to help me create my study plan. So I'm an absolute beginner. I want to know, what do I need? Like, what's happening? When writing prompts for AI, you need to be as specific as possible and give as much detail as possible so it gives you the result you want. So you can specify your level, your goals, your time frame, whatever is applicable to your situation. So since we're using me as an example, I said I want to learn European Portuguese. My level is beginner. Can you please make a study plan for the next month? My goal is to be more confident in speaking Portuguese, and eventually I would like to take a sample exam. As you can see, AI is making a day-by-day, week-by-week plan, so I can use it to learn Portuguese. And let's take a look what it generated. Week 1, vocabulary building, grammar, practice, listening practice, writing. Okay, that's good. However, I would like to ask for more resources. So thing number 2 you can do with AI when learning languages, ask for resources. Again, I like to specify in every query I make, so can you share some resources that I can use for learning European Portuguese as a beginner? So AI remembers that me no falo português. Let's see. Okay, so ChatGPT suggests Duolingo, which I use, but they have Brazilian Portuguese, so be careful. Because, for example, ChatGPT doesn't know that it's Brazilian, but I do because, I've tried learning the language there. Memrise is a good one. Never tried Babel, Rosetta Stone. Okay, it suggested some books, some online resources, Hello Talk, we love Hello Talk, even YouTube channels, that's nice, and some podcasts. All right, so we're gonna take this and use it as our resources, but that shouldn't be your, ultimate study plan. You can always, find something you like more. Because when I was learning French, everyone's like, oh, watch the French movies. They are so boring. Sorry, my lovely French people. I just couldn't. Maybe Amelie, I could watch it, but all those old French movies? So I found podcasts, that's it. Another way to use AI for language learning is to ask for the most used phrases, words. It can be a really great start if you don't know where to begin and you're like, maybe I should learn at least yes, no, maybe, those kind of words. So again, you can ask, hey, can you please share the most used words and phrases in European Portuguese? Let's see what it says. It's gonna be sim, não, bom dia, boa tarde, boa noite, obrigada, tudo bem. So it's given me the basic phrases like help me please, thank you, where is blah blah blah, how much does it cost, excuse me, some verbs, some months. So if I were to come to Portugal, I think I'll be amazing with that. However, if you ask someone, where is, I don't know, timeout market, and the person gives you instructions in Portuguese, you'll be like, processing. Another way to utilize AI for your language learning is to ask for synonyms. For example, you don't want to say bom all the time. You can literally say, hey, give me synonyms to the word bom in European Portuguese, because that's what we want. And it gave me 10 synonyms, which are excellent, ótimo, fantástico, belo. Not sure if people in Portugal say belo though. But please take this with a grain of salt, because there are so many dialects and languages like Brazilian Portuguese and European Portuguese. Sometimes AI might not know, so it's up to you to double check the information that you got. You can always ask AI for some clarification if you're not sure about the difference between words, for example. If we take a simpler example in English language, you can ask, what's the difference between error and mistake, destiny and fate? You know what I mean? Like when you have words that are kind of the same but different, you can ask AI to help you with that. And if you still don't understand, you can ask AI to explain it to you as if you were a child. Because sometimes ChatGPT uses the language of like grad school, and I'm like, can you please simplify and explain it to me as if I was like, 8, 10 years old? Then it starts using simpler language and it's much easier for everybody to understand. So that option is available to you too. AI can also provide you with examples if you're not sure how to use a phrase. If you need an example of this word in a sentence, you can always ask about that too. For example, in English, there's a verb to make up. And first of all, it can mean many things. For example, it can mean to create, invent something, to reconcile, settle a disagreement, to apply cosmetics, to compensate for something missed or lost, to comprise or constitute. So there are at least 5 meanings to the verb, and ChatGPT just gave me excellent examples of the usage of each meaning. For example, if it's settle on a disagreement, the example it gave me is after the argument they made up and became friends again, so that means they're all good, no more argument, they're friends. For apply cosmetics or beauty products, I like to make up my eyes with eyeliner and mascara. So if you need more context, more examples, ask ChatGPT. Even if this sounds confusing to you, you can be like, hey, can you elaborate on the 5th one, because I'm not quite sure how to use it in my case. You can practice conversations with AI. If you have ChatGPT 4, I think you can even use voice to talk to AI. If you're using the free version 3.5, you can chat with ChatGPT. And while chatting, you can ask AI to correct your mistakes, being like, hey, I would like to practice Portuguese. I'm not fluent. Can you please talk back to me, have a conversation, and correct my mistakes? So I asked AI, hey, can you talk to me in European Portuguese and correct my mistakes where needed? It says, claro, estou aqui para te ajudar. Podes começar a falar em português e eu corrijo-te, I hope so, sempre que for necessário. O que gostarias de praticar hoje? Lots of Portuguese text. Basically, it says, yes, I will talk to you, I'll correct your mistakes. What do you want to practice today? Gostaria falar. What would I like to talk about? I'm not sure if you say no, à propos French. De livros. I would like to talk about books. Que tipo de livros gostas de ler? What kind of books do I like to read? You get the idea. You can talk to AI, it can correct your mistakes. Oh, let's make a mistake actually. Gosta ler true crime. It didn't correct my mistake. Oh my god. AI, what are you doing? AI can also help you with translations. If you came across a word that you don't know, you can ask again for meanings, for explanation. For example, I don't know, what does comer mean? Let's ask ChatGPT. What does comer mean in Portuguese? It means to eat, a verb used to describe the action of consuming food or meals. Give me examples, please. I like to be nice to AI, so you should be too. Eu gosto de comer pizza aos fins de semana. I like to eat pizza on the weekends. That is true, actually. Ela comeu uma salada para o almoço. She ate a salad for lunch. So you can see how the word is used. You can also ask AI to teach you things. For example, you want to know a tense, you want to know something, you can ask ChatGPT and be like, hey, can you teach me past simple in Portuguese? So here's what it gave me. Here's how you can form regular verbs in the past tense. Regular verbs with AR, with ER, with IR. Those are basic conjugations, meaning I just need to take a verb that I have and convert it to the past tense. However, I would like to get more information because I'm pretty sure there are irregular verbs. Let's ask AI. Are there any regular verbs? Yes. For example, to be, to go, to have, See, you need to ask questions so you can get answers. Because this was not in the first answer that it gave me. And because I speak a little bit of Portuguese, I know that ser, to be, will be different. It will be eu fui, which doesn't sound like ser, you know? I can't be like, oh, that was a regular er verb, so it's gonna be, I don't even know. I can't even form, a past tense of it. Another way to use AI is for proofreading and editing. If you write in essays, if you write in any text in your target language, you can ask AI to proofread it. You can ask for feedback. You can ask like, how is my vocabulary? How is my grammar? Like, what is my level? Am I at like beginner A1 or am like fluent? For example, we can say, can you proofread this text? Olá, o meu nome é Yulia, vivo em Lisboa, sou a russa. Let's see what it says. How is my Portuguese? Here's the corrected version. Olá, meu nome é Yulia. Vivo. So the difference is in the ending of the verb. If you have any more text you'd like me to proofread, feel free to ask. No, that's it. We're done with proofreading here. And of course, you can ask AI for some cultural insights, for some dialect, if you're not quite sure or you feel like it doesn't sound right. For example, you can ask how would the European Portuguese and the Brazilian Portuguese call Jews? Because in European Portuguese, it's sumo, in Brazilian, it's suco, and ChatGPT said in European, it's sumo, in Brazilian, it's suco. Yay, success, she is fluent in Portuguese. Same thing with French and Quebecois. This one is like my favorite because every time we go to France, we learn new things. Because, for example, watermelon in Quebec is melon de œuf, watermelon. In France is pastèque. C'est quoi ça, pastèque? I don't know. Same with l'addition, the receipt. In Quebec is le reçu. Je sais pas. While AI can turbocharge your language learning journey, please don't underestimate the power of classes. Sure, AI can teach you many things like grammar and vocabulary and everything, but I feel like you need a real human to practice what you've learned. I think using AI and like self-studying and everything is amazing for reaching like A1, A2. In my case, I used like apps and podcasts and movies to learn French up to B1, but then I realized I need people, I need to practice with people because you can be the best at like reading and writing and everything, but then you meet a person who speaks the language and you're like, je m'appelle Yulia. So yeah, use AI, but don't forget to practice with real people. There are plenty of apps like, again, Hello Talk, Hi Native, or even here in the comments, you can be like, hey, I'm learning French, German, I don't know, Spanish. Anyone's learning the language too, let's chat, let's communicate, and maybe you'll find some, fellow language learners. That's it, that's all for today. Até já. And let's catch up later this year to see how my progress with Portuguese is. Bye!